Hello besties, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the next historical romance readathon vlog that I'm doing for July. So it's been about a week since I did my last little like 24-hour readathon thingy for this readathon. Did I just say readathon like 5 times? It's been about a week since I did my 24-hour reading vlog for this readathon. It's currently Friday, just been to the gym. About to go out for the evening slash like most of tomorrow, so I probably won't do a bunch of vlogging of the next like few hours slash the next day, but I just wanted to say hi, get you guys, you know, settled in, set up for the vlog, and just so you guys kind of know what I'm going to be reading. So in the 24-hour vlog that I did, I started The Duchess War by Courtney Milan. I'm almost done with that. I'm hoping I'll be able to finish it today. I'll give you guys my final thoughts once I'm done. I don't really have yeah, we'll discuss that once I'm done, okay? And then I have one other book on my Libby app that needs to go back, I think like Monday, so need to get that read this weekend. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's The Hunter by Kerrigan Byrne. And then I have a few other books on my Libby app that I'm pretty sure are due back soon, so I'll probably try and at least start those this weekend. And I have 2 historicals out from the library. Let me just go get them. So I have the Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks, which talked about in my last vlog. I was meant to start it. I mean, I don't think these have to go back soon, but I would like to get to them as soon as possible. Also, it's just almost the end of July, so I just kind of need to like get this readathon wrapped up and done. And then I also have A Duchess a Day by Michael Michaels. Very excited for this one. Honestly, this is the Bodyguard historical romance. Super excited. I think this is going to be super fun. So I think this weekend, honestly, I'll finish the Duchess War, which I'm pretty much done with. I think I have like 5% left. Then I think I will try start a bunch of these, maybe once I get home, and then like depending, maybe I'll pick one to just like finish. It is, for reference, the last weekend of July, so after this weekend I'll have 1 week, Monday to Friday, to finish off this readathon. I have a lot of prompts that I need to finish, so I'm gonna crack on with some reading this weekend, and it's gonna be a great time, I hope. I do have a bunch of other books that I need to read for a bunch of other videos, so hopefully that all goes according to plan. I also have a bunch of other work that I need to do. Basically, I'm going to be busy this weekend, but that's okay. I think it's going to be still kind of fun and like relaxed. I'm not stressed about anything, but I am going to go shower and get ready to head out for the weekend. Well, not for the whole weekend, but I will check in with you guys probably once I'm home. I don't think I'll vlog while I'm out, and probably once I have finished A Duchess War by Courtney Milan. Okay, hello besties. It is now Saturday night. I'm home, I've showered, I'm feeling refreshed. Potentially could be getting a UTI, but you know, it's whatever. Also finished The Duchess War by Courtney Milan. Sadly, gave this 2 stars. I didn't think it was the worst historical that I've ever read. I just didn't really get it. Wasn't really enchanted, wasn't really captivated, wasn't into it, simply put. This follows Minnie, who has PTSD. She cannot like stand to be in crowds or surrounded by people, or have a whole lot of people look at her, basically, from an accident that happened to her when she was about 12. And because of what happened to her when she was a child, basically she now in the present day has kind of reinvented her life. She goes by a different name. She lives away from her hometown with like her 2 aunts, but things kind of get a bit tricky when, I think he's a cop, some guy in the town that she's currently in accuses her of writing these handbills which encourage like basically workers' rights, from what I can tell. But basically this cop is like, hey, you're really sus because you've like recently just been to town, no one really knows you, you're really quiet, like you're the one writing these bills. And Minnie's like, absolutely not, it's not me. And on the night that she gets accused, a duke comes to town. And she meets him, she's introduced to him, and she kind of realizes pretty quickly that he's the one who's writing these handbills. This isn't a spoiler, by the way. We find this out in like the first few chapters, right? The whole setup of this book, basically, is that the Duke is interested in Minnie, and he, I don't know why, but he wants to pretend to like court her and like be interested in her, and in return he wants Minnie to basically find proof to blame him for writing the handbills. He wants Minnie to expose him, basically. So it's kind of like this weird rivals to lovers sort of romance, except it didn't really work for me because like it didn't really make a lot of sense. I honestly couldn't really follow like any of that sort of plot, and I personally did not care for the Duke. I've already forgotten his name. Didn't care for him, didn't care for his tragic backstory, whatever. Both of these characters have, this is the thing, I think this whole book had potential. Plot seemed decent, the characters seemed like they had some depth to them. I think I just wanted a little bit more attention to like the characters. I wanted the plot to be a little bit simpler, and I wanted the writing to be a bit more direct as well. It was a bit repetitive. It was just a bit like it kind of dragged on at times. Basically, I just didn't have a great time reading this. Really had to push myself through this one. Gave it 2 stars. I think you would really like this if you want some kind of tragic main character historical romances. I think you could probably get behind this. This was also an indie historical romance. Absolutely support indie authors, go for it. This this was not by any means a bad historical romance. I personally just did not like it that much, which sucks for me. I hate not liking things, but this one just didn't really do it for me. I couldn't see myself giving it anything more than a 2-star. I will say the end, there was one really satisfying bit at the end that I did really like, but it was like out of the whole book, there was the tiniest portion of the book that I did like, and I can't, like, that doesn't make up for the rest of the book, you know? Anyway, rated that, totally fine. I also went ahead today and managed to read The Hall of the Hunter by Kerrigan Byrne. Also, unfortunately, did not love this one that much either. I did give it 3 stars because I did like it slightly more than The Duchess War. Premise of this, basically, our main character, is his name? No, Christopher. I was gonna say Richard. His name's Christopher. Christopher is basically like an assassin. He gets hired to kill people, and he gets hired to kill this actress, this really up-and-coming famous actress, but he tries to kill her and ends up falling in love with her. Turns out that there are a bunch of other people kind of after her, trying to kill her. She's in danger, and so instead of killing her, he decides to protect her, right? Pretty swoon-worthy premise, you know, who doesn't want a big beefy hunk bodyguard, basically, to, you know, not kill you and have really good sex with you. You know, that sounds pretty ideal, but if I'm being honest, this might sound a bit ridiculous. This was just a bit too grim for me. Like, in the prologue, not even the first chapter, huge trigger warning for abuse, sexual assault, and death. Like, the prologue was so intense. I'm pretty sure it gave me like nightmares. Not like nightmares, but like agitated dream sweats or something. It was just so horrific. And I mean, this book deals obviously with like killing a lot there. Like, I mean, the main man is an assassin, and there are other assassins, there are other killers. There's a lot of like, it's just really gruesome, surprisingly gruesome, not what I was expecting. Don't think I was really in the mood for that, if I'm being honest, besties, but it wasn't bad. It was kind of entertaining at times. I think the 2 characters definitely had sexual chemistry, way more than the 2 main characters in The Duchess War. I don't know, maybe I'm just not on a good historical streak at the moment. I think I'm just not really in the mood for historicals, which might sound, it's like upsetting because like, I mean, I'm reading this for this readathon, I'm reading all these historicals for this readathon, and usually I love historical romances as a bit of like fun escapism. None of these have been very fun though, and I've also been reading, like, outside of these vlogs, I've been reading a bunch of really great contemporary romances, and I think that's really what I want to be picking up at the moment, but we're gonna persevere. Okay, so hi, it's been a few days. We're almost at the end of July, so a few things have changed. I have some things to update you guys on. One, I've had to return a bunch of my historicals that I had out on my Libby app back to the library. Didn't really want to renew them because there are only a few days left of July anyway, so this readathon, my version of this readathon, is almost over, so what was the point of renewing them, right? So, secondly, I'm now no longer concerned with getting through all of the historicals that I said that I was going to read on my TBR. I mean, that TBR was very ambitious anyway. But what I am concerned about is trying to get a bingo on the bingo prompt board. So if you have a look at the bingo board and all of the things that I've crossed off so far, you will see the easiest way for me to get bingo currently would be to read a Grace Calloway book. Unfortunately, the Grace Calloway book was one of the books that I had to return off of my Libby app, and I can't seem to get any other Grace Calloway books. But there is another kind of easy way for me to get bingo. It does involve me reading 2 books, but I think that's okay. And that is if I try and get all of the prompts in the bottom row. Right there. I have one last historical out on my Libby app, that's Her Night with the Duke, and that fits the prompt for the single parent. And then I actually have Never Seduce a Scot, which is the book that I got out for the Scottish prompt. So if I read this and Her Night with the Duke, that's all the prompts on the bottom line done. That is a bingo, bim bam boom. So that's the plan. I'm going to read Her Night with the Duke first because that I'm pretty sure I have like 2 days to read that on my Libby app. So hoping I can get through that today, probably. And then I will pick this up and read this just over the last days of July. Okay, good morning, besties. It is currently the last day of July. Oh my goodness, it is Saturday, July 31st. I'm gonna wrap up this reading vlog today. I mean, obviously, because the readathon as well, because it's the end of the month. I am like absolutely determined to get this bingo though. So the other day, I really quickly read Her Night with the Duke by Diana Quincy. This was for the single parent trope, and like honestly, after reading it, it doesn't really fit in with that trope. Like, not really. She's barely like a parent figure, but you know what, I'm just gonna go with it. She technically was married to a man who had kids, and they became her kids technically, so like technically she was a parent, right? For context, the story follows Leela, who is now a widow, but she was married to a duke or something, a really high up person in England, but he died several years ago, and so she's been traveling overseas, and I want to say it was something, I want to say she went to like Palestine or something like that. Basically, Leela is not English. She's not British. Her mother was an immigrant, so she's like basically just gone back to her country where her family is from, and she traveled, and now she's just returned. And on her way home to visit her stepkids, she basically has to stop one night at an inn because there's like really bad storms and they can't travel on the roads, but all the rooms in the inn are gone, and the inn is just full of these dropkick, absolutely horrible men who are like, oh, you can share a bed with me. You know, basically they're kind of just like, well, she's gonna have to sleep with one of us. And then there is a duke there at the inn, our main character. I can't remember his name. It's just a white boy name, but anyway, the duke. He's there, he's kind of seeing this all like go down. He's in disguise, he doesn't want anyone to know he's a duke because he's traveling alone, and apparently that's dangerous or whatever, I don't know. But basically he goes up to her and he's like, hey, like, totally fine, you can take my room, I will just like stay down here in the bar. Doesn't happen. They end up just having sex all night basically. They part ways the next morning and never expect to see each other again, but then literally like the next day they arrive at the same place because turns out the duke is intent on marrying Leila's stepdaughter. Shenanigans ensue from there. I was very worried that there would be cheating going on in this, but absolutely not. That doesn't happen. I think like the best possible scenarios happened to make this relationship like as acceptable as it could be, really. Like, I'm not saying that it's bad that like he wanted to have sex or like it was in love with an older woman. I don't think that's like the bad thing. What I was uncomfortable with was the fact that like he is set to marry her stepdaughter, and like that's just cheating, and that's just like uncomfortable to read. Didn't happen. Totally fine. Honestly, because I sped through it, I didn't really get a great sense of the writing style or anything like that, but I mean it was fine. It was probably one of the better historicals I've read recently, so I gave it 3 stars. It was kind of enjoyable. I really liked Leela. Absolute MILF. But seeing as it's the last day, I have one more book to read, Never Seduce a Scot. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to like speed through this as well, but I'm basically just going to sit down and read this and get this done today. I have other stuff that I need to do, but how many pages is this? Like 400? It's just past 400 pages. This might, it wouldn't be too hard to read if I kind of speed through it. So I really don't even know, is this the one where she's deaf? Evelyn Armstrong is fiercely loved and protected by her powerful clan, but outsiders consider her touched, beautiful fae with a level intent gaze. She doesn't speak. No one, not even her family, knows that she cannot hear. How do they not know? Content with her life of seclusion, Evelyn has taught herself to read lips and allows the outside world to view her as daft. But when an arranged marriage into a rival clan makes Graham Montgomery her husband, Evelyn accepts her duty unprepared for the delights to come. Oh, Graham is a rugged warrior with a voice so deep and powerful that his new bride can hear it, and that's the part that I'm uncertain about. Graham is intrigued by the mysterious Evelyn, whose silent lips are ripe with temptation and whose bright intelligent eyes can see into his soul. As intimacy deepens, he learns her secret, that she's deaf. But when clan rivalries and dark deeds threaten the wife he has only begun to cherish, the Scottish warrior will move heaven and earth to save the woman who has awakened his heart. This sounds like really cheesy. I hope it's fun in a kind of cheesy way. I'm just gonna sit down, not gonna think about it too much, and we're just gonna bust it out. We're just gonna read it, okay? No, but actually, because this is the best historical I've ever read, potentially. Like, shut up. Like, shut up. This is so good. So, I still look a little rough because I literally have just been sitting down and reading this and watching Love Island all day. I've done nothing. 300 pages. I have 100 pages to go. The context, I read out the blurb earlier. We're following Evelyn and Graham, who are forced into an arranged marriage. They're both from different clans. It's like to try and keep the peace, right? The king, I'm assuming the king of England, basically is just decreed this marriage because there's like too much drama between these two clans, right? I say drama, I mean like wars and stuff, like people are dying and it's really bad. So they're trying to make it better, right? Also, and obviously the part that I was uncertain about was on the back where they said that Evelyn was deaf. Everyone thought that she was dumb. No one knows that she's deaf. Everyone just thinks that she's dumb. And somehow Graham's voice, Evelyn can hear Graham's voice. So actually what happened is, I think the blurb of this does a very poor job of selling this book because this is so good. But the blurb makes it sound like absolutely ridiculous. Basically, one day we learn Evelyn had a accident. She was riding a horse. She fell off into kind of like a ditch sort of thing, and she was like there for like 3 days. It took 3 days for someone to find her and take her back. By that point, like obviously she was very ill. She was out of it, and so people took her being like sick and then after her recovery not speaking as her like having hit her head too hard and now being like dumb. Honestly, Evelyn's original family sounds absolutely god-awful. They sound like the dumbest people ever, but pop off, I guess it doesn't matter. Graham's clan, on the other hand, is lovely. I mean, they all hate Evelyn when she moves there. They're all really horrible to her, but like Graham, his sister, and his brothers, super sweet. They take Evelyn in. Evelyn has obviously just been hurt like so much in her life, and it's really upsetting, but it's really nice to see her being taken care of. Graham is the hunkiest historical hero ever. Oh my god. Oh my god. I actually love him so much. I genuinely, potentially one of my most favorite historical heroes I've ever read, like genuinely. You know, sometimes there are, you know, there's like the overprotective alpha like stereotype, which is just kind of it's a bit like it feels just a little bit like misogynistic. It's like misogynistic at worst and like slightly cringe at best. But Graham's not like that. Graham is just like so in love with Evelyn. He just doesn't see how other people can't love her as much because she's so lovely. He's the first person to think that she's not an idiot, and genuinely he just treats her so well, and it's just so nice to see. And Evelyn's like this, like, and this is the thing usually when it's like, usually a lot of the time in relationships like this where one of the characters is like a little bit like damaged in some way and the other one, you know, takes on the role of, you know, looking after them or bringing them out of their shell, helping them overcome their trauma, whatever. You usually don't see the damaged character reciprocate it, honestly, like to the same extent. But Evelyn is trying so hard to just like care for Graham. It is so refreshing to see their relationship, so well balanced. Their chemistry off the charts. I'm all for it. Currently, I'm at the end of the book. As you can see, we're kind of up to the conflict. I don't exactly, honestly, and this is the first historical in a while that I don't actually know how the ending is going to go down exactly. I thought that this was going to be the biggest fucking joke that I'd ever read. When I went on Goodreads and I saw all these people raving about it, I was like, literally how, like, this is the blurb is the worst thing you've ever, like, this is so poorly marketed. This is so incredible. Oh my god. So I'm gonna go finish this. I'm just gonna like read the last 100 pages because I'm dying to know how this ends, and I really hope it ends well, because oh my god, what a book to end this readathon on. I hate ending on like a bad book, so I really hope that I love this like as much as I am currently loving it. Oh my god, oh my god. This is like such a terrible angle, but I finished Never Seduce a Scar by Maya Banks, and this was so good. I'm giving this 5 stars. Easily the best historical that I've read for this readathon, hands down. This was so also at the end, quick jump, in the acknowledgements, Maya Banks says that Evelyn's deafness is similar, like the same kind of deafness that her husband has, an acknowledgement of that. And I definitely think Evelyn is one of the best historical heroines that I've ever read. I loved her, and I loved Graham. Honestly, this was just like so good. Like look at it. The cover is ridiculous. Like, they're both attractive people, like, to be sure, but like, oh my god. And then that blurb that I read out earlier, it sounds like, what was it? My boyfriend said it sounded like comedy instead of literature. Honestly, this was neither comedy or literature. This was true, genuine romance. This was brilliant stuff, and I'm so glad that I read this. I'm so glad that this is the book that we're ending this readathon on. I feel like I should like sit up and properly end this vlog, but honestly, I'm just gonna end it here. I had honestly not the best time reading all of these historicals this month, like in the sense that I wanted all of them to be as good as this, and they definitely weren't. We had some, we definitely had some misses this month, but I'm so glad we ended on a good note. Ended with me getting the bingo. It's like, it's not even, we've still got hours of the day left. It's only like, well, actually that's not true. It's like 4 p.m, maybe 5 p.m. by this point, but this was so great. I actually genuinely got so lost in this book. If you take anything away from watching my vlogs this month, this is such a great historical. I really need to actually like maybe I'll do a video where I talk about my favorite historicals, and maybe I'll just like update it over the years. This is easily one of my favorites. So good. As I have for the last few vlogs, I'll leave the links to the hosts and all of their information down below, because as I said, I'm pretty sure this readathon happens maybe I think like twice a year, so it'll either happen later on this year or at the start of next year. Either way, if you're interested, this readathon will definitely be on again, so you guys can participate in the future if you want. The hosts definitely make it fun with the prompts and everything. It's a really great time to read some historicals, and you never know, you might find some gems like this. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you've watched all of this video, if you've watched all of my other vlogs as well, I really appreciate it. I love you besties so much. It's currently the last day of July. I wanted this to be my last video that I uploaded, so I'm going to try and get this up tonight, hopefully. But I will definitely see you guys in August with some other videos. Oh my god, I can't believe it's another month. For now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys with another video sometime soon. Bye, besties.